Hey guys, Kenny Wisdom here, bringing you another Trainer Tip Tuesday. And firstly, let me apologize for this video being a day late. I had a slight family emergency yesterday that kind of slowed down the content production, but it seems like everything will be okay now, so there shouldn't be any further interruptions to the channel. So today I thought we would talk about what's been on most people's minds, I think, since this past weekend has happened, the Wailord EX deck that got second at US Nationals. In last week's episode about preparing for a tournament, we talked about choosing a deck, and we spent a few minutes talking about how to determine if your rogue deck or your unorthodox deck is good enough and when it's not, and how to use your time accordingly once you figure that out. So, Wailord EX is the definition of a successful rogue. No one outside of the core group that built it was aware of it, and it took the tournament by storm. I think it landed one player in the top 8 as well as another in the top 16. We haven't seen that combination of both successful and unknown since Ross Cawthon's 2011 Worlds run with the Truth. The group that built the deck should feel proud of themselves, knowing they put together such an innovative, successful deck. I'm not too familiar with them, so I'm not sure where they're from or who they know or anything, but those guys definitely broke it. That doesn't happen too often, but those guys definitely broke it. And the most genius part about the Wailord EX deck was that it was a direct response to the banning of Lysander's trump card. If Lysander's trump card had never been banned, Wailord literally wouldn't have been a possibility. And I think while everyone else was trying to determine whether Seismitoad was good enough or Rayquaza was good enough, this group that built Wailord was attacking the format from an entirely different angle. They did exactly what everyone should be trying to do, including you guys. If you guys are trying to build rogue decks, this is what this episode's going to touch on a little bit. They looked at the metagame and they saw what changed, whether that's the deck's gone down in popularity, a deck's risen up in popularity, maybe a new set has come out, or in this case a card's been banned, and then they responded to it. And that's really what's the biggest importance, I think, when building a rogue deck and trying to determine, and even not a rogue deck, you can even just be trying to make changes to an existing deck. So if you have your Seismitoad deck, and let's say you saw that deck, the two big decks, these two Rayquaza decks has gone out of favor, well then maybe, you don't need to put Manectric in anymore, you can cut that now. And, this is mainly applying for rogue decks because, Wailord is no other word to describe it other than rogue. But this all can also apply just to when making small changes like that, and whenever you're trying to fight against the metagame and not just play a standard stock deck. Also, their decision to play Wailord with 0 energy was incredibly bold and paid off super well for them. I like that because I think it showcases a deep understanding of the strategy of the deck and what its win condition is. I think a lot of times in deck building, players will do something where they have a deck that works, but maybe it's a little unorthodox, maybe it's a little bit gimmicky, and they want to be able to beat this matchup or this matchup, so they put in, a 1/1 line here, or they put in, this EX here, or this item card, or they switch to this kind of energy, and just kind of to, hedge their bets against the more popular decks or decks they're afraid of. And while this can certainly be useful, it's important to recognize when you need to go all in on your strategy. If the creators of Wailord had said, you know what, I don't know if we're just going to be able to win by deck out. What if we cut, what if we put in just 5 energy cards and then we put in a professor's letter or something, and we make these small changes. If they had done that, they probably just would have diluted their entire deck and it wouldn't have worked. Something like 5 or 6 slots, or even if they had put in fewer, even if they put in like 4 energy and a professor's letter so that they could attack with Suicune or something, they would have taken out so many important, crucial cards. And the fact that they understood that and that they were confident enough to go in without a plan B and just say, we know this deck works and let's see what happens, it's definitely something to be applauded. So yeah, if you take anything away from this, just be that when you are building a rogue deck, and when it's important to A, understand it and what it's doing, and B, not shift too much around for that. And also to understand why you're building it. That's the biggest question you should ask yourself. When you're building a rogue deck or when you're making changes to an existing deck is, why am I doing this? What makes it better? In this case, the Wailord group said, why are we doing this? Because Lysander's trump card is banned. We have a bunch of energy removal cards. We have a bunch of healing and scooping cards, and there's no way our opponents can win. And I just want, if you guys are out there trying to build rogue decks or surprise metagames, I think you should really take a hard look at this Wailord deck and how it worked and kind of use that as a base for the future, because I'm not sure if we're going to see too many more rogue decks. I hope we do, but like I said, the last one I think that really took the tournament by storm was probably the Truth back in 2011. I'm sure there's been a few since then that have done well, but I don't think there's anything that was as secret and as powerful as Wailord was. Well, that's been Trainer Tip Tuesday for this week. Let me know what you want to talk about next week, and the comment that gets the most likes in the comments of this video is what I'll talk about next week. My name is Kenny Wisdom, and thank you for watching.